Once upon a time, in a quiet coastal village in the Philippines, where coconut palms swayed to the rhythm of the sea breeze and fishing boats painted soft colors across the horizon, there lived two brothers whose hearts could not have been more different. The elder brother was Nolbu, sharp-tempered and selfish, always thinking only of himself. The younger brother was Hyungbu, gentle and kind, living with a heart as open as the ocean. Their father, once a respected fisherman and farmer, had left them a simple bamboo house and a small stretch of land before he passed away. But after his death, Nolbu claimed everything, forcing Hyungbu, his wife, and their children to live in a crumbling nipa hut near the edge of the forest, where the land was poor and the wind bit through the broken roof. Yet Hyungbu did not complain. Each day, before the sun rose fully, he walked along the beach, gathering driftwood, helping fishermen untangle their nets, and sometimes trading little fish for rice. His wife cooked modest meals, often sharing with neighbors who had even less, for they believed kindness was a form of wealth that could not run out. Their children played happily in the sand, chasing crabs and drawing pictures with sticks, never feeling poor because their home was filled with love. One bright morning, when the dry season was just beginning to soften and the air smelled faintly of rain, Hyungbu went out searching for bamboo shoots and firewood. He paused when he heard a faint sound, a high, trembling cry. Beneath a cluster of banana leaves lay a small swallow, its delicate wing twisted and broken. The bird fluttered helplessly, unable to fly. Hyungbu's eyes filled with compassion. He gently lifted the little creature into his hands, whispering softly, "Don't worry, tiny one, you will be safe." He brought it home and, together with his wife, carefully bound its wing with thin cloth and tiny splints. Each day, he fed it crumbs of rice and small drops of water, speaking to it kindly as though it were a guest. Weeks passed. The swallow healed. Its eyes grew bright again, and one soft, golden afternoon it perched on the window, chirping cheerfully before spreading its wings and soaring into the sky. It circled the small hut once, singing as if to say, "Thank you," and disappeared toward the horizon. Hyungbu smiled with quiet joy. He had not expected anything in return. It was enough to know the bird could fly again. Time moved gently. The rains came and went, painting the village green. Then one day, as the sun set and turned the sea to copper, the swallow returned. This time it carried something unusual in its beak, a small seed that shimmered faintly as though touched by moonlight. The bird dropped the seed into Hyungbu's hands, chirped once more, and flew off into the darkening sky. Hyungbu and his wife looked at each other, curious but trusting. They planted the seed in the soft earth behind their hut. To their amazement, it sprouted quickly, climbing higher and thicker each day. Soon, strong vines twined toward the roof, covered in enormous gourds that glowed pale green under the sunday. When the gourds ripened, Hyungbu cut one open with care. Out tumbled shining gold coins, clinking like laughter. Another gourd overflowed with sacks of rice and fragrant grain, enough to feed their family for years. Yet another revealed rolls of fine cloth and colorful garments. The humble hut became strong and warm, its roof mended, its walls reinforced. Their children danced and clapped with joy. Neighbors came to celebrate, and everyone spoke with wonder of Hyungbu's unexpected fortune. Far across the village, Nolbu heard the news. His heart, already hard, twisted with envy. "Why should that foolish brother be rich while I, the elder, have less?" he growled. Driven by greed, he decided to copy Hengbu's kindness, but only to get treasure. Nolbu searched until he found a swallow's nest under his roof. Instead of protecting it, he cruelly knocked it down, catching a chick and deliberately breaking its tiny leg. He bound it roughly, muttering, "You will repay me with riches." His wife watched uneasily but said nothing, for Nolbu's temper was fierce. He fed the bird without care or kindness, impatient for reward. The swallow healed enough to fly and left, just as Hyungbu's had. Nolbu waited, greedy anticipation sharpening his gaze. Weeks later, the bird returned with a seed and dropped it into Nolbu's hands. He planted it at once. The vine grew fast and strong, producing massive gourds even larger than those at Hyungbu's home. Nolbu's eyes gleamed. "I will be richer than any man in the islands," he shouted. When the gourds ripened, Nolbu gathered friends and servants to witness his triumph. Laughing loudly, he split the first gourd, but instead of gold, a swarm of writhing snakes burst out, hissing and striking. The crowd screamed and scattered. Shaken but greedy still, Nolbu cut the second gourd. Out flew a storm of angry wasps and biting ants, stinging everyone in sight. Panic filled the yard. In desperation, he split the third gourd, and thick black smoke poured out, followed by terrifying spirits with glowing eyes, shrieking and chasing Nolbu through his house. He ran, stumbling and screaming, as his riches burned and scattered into the sea. His once grand home fell silent, filled only with smoke and ruin. Broken and humbled, Nolbu walked the long sandy road to Hyungbu's house. His fine clothes were torn, his hair tangled, his proud face streaked with tears. "Brother," he sobbed, falling to his knees, "I was wrong. My greed has destroyed me. I hurt an innocent swallow for selfish gain, and I was punished." Hyungbu, whose heart was as wide as ever, looked at his older brother with gentle eyes. He reached down and lifted Nolbu to his feet. "You are still my brother," he said softly. "Stay with us until you find your way again." He shared food, shelter, and warmth, teaching Nolbu through kindness what no punishment alone could teach. Nolbu, touched by such forgiveness, began to change. Slowly he learned to work honestly, to share with neighbors, and to care for every creature, even the smallest birds. His anger softened like clay in the rain. Soon the two brothers rebuilt not only their lives, but also their bond. Their families lived side by side, helping each other with fishing nets and rice harvests. The village came to know them, not as the selfish elder and the poor younger brother, but as two men who had learned the power of kindness and forgiveness. Sometimes, on warm evenings when the palms whisper and the sea glows with fireflies, a swallow perches on the brothers' windows and sings. Its gentle song reminds them, and anyone listening, that a single act of kindness can return in ways you never expect, and that greed always carries its own punishment. And so, parents in that coastal village tell this story to their children before bed, that kindness invites blessings, while greed brings sorrow, that even broken things a bird's wing, a human heart, a family's love can mend when compassion is stronger than anger. And if ever a swallow visits your home, treat it with gentle care, for it might not only bring treasure, but the chance to change your life forever.